Okay, so imagine if you're sending packets across the network. So I send a packet to get across the network and specifically the internet. The jumps that you make are between routers. Okay, so when you get to a router, to understand what a router does, is a router just analyzes it. It looks at just the header information of a packet, so not the contents. It just looks at the header information of a packet to look at the source and destination, specifically IP addresses. Okay, and by looking at that IP address, it can decide the most appropriate direction in which to send it. So if you imagine a router might have 8, might have 50 connections on it, it will decide which of those 50 or etc. is the best route to send it down. So it doesn't just look. You'll understand how routers works. Routers are in a hierarchy. You'll understand how they work a little bit later on, how they pick their direction. But what you need to understand is that at this point, routers just look at the header information on a packet and will pick an appropriate direction to send it. Now, they don't just look specifically at the IP. They also look at their connections themselves. So if you've got, let's say, 50 possible connections to send it down, you would also look at how often you've been using those connections to send data down. So let's say, looking at the IP, I could send it down any one of 4 out of my 50. I might pick the one of those 4 that I've been sending the least data down so far, because you do try and spread it out so that you don't overload other routers, because you all get all the connections coming down a certain route. That's partly why when you split data into packets and send it to a destination, they can take so many different routes on their journey. Okay, so routers analyze the header information of a packet and pick an appropriate direction to send that packet.